Hello, my name is Raley, and I teach at Elm Grove Middle School in Bossier Parish. As an educator, I am most passionate about reaching students regardless of their disability or health impairments. I believe that all students deserve an equal opportunity to learn grade appropriate curriculum with supports and accommodations. So the students you're going to see in this video are 6th grade resource students. These are all special education students, and they're all right now have below the 6th grade math ability level. And they're in this small group setting to better support that and give those accommodations. So the content of the lesson is going to focus on locating the opposites of a number on the number line and learning about 0 and how that is connected to these opposite numbers. And so that connects to standard 6.ns.c.6a. So this lesson is from Module 3 in the Eureka 6th grade curriculum, and it's lesson number 4. And so the objectives of this lesson are that students will understand that each non-zero integer has an opposite, and if they are on opposite sides of 0 and the same distance from 0 on the number line, then they are opposites. They're also recognize that number 0 is its own opposite, and that since all counting numbers are positive, it is not necessary to indicate it with a plus sign. So what happened prior to this lesson is students have already been introduced to integers and locating them on the number line. They've also started to learn vocabulary about opposites, situations, and how to represent those with an integer based on a term such as above or below sea level, at sea level, deposit, withdrawal, degrees, having positive or negative degrees. So I prepared this lesson by creating a large number line on the floor, and students have already practiced finding positive and negative numbers on the number line. And so this lesson connects to learning about finding opposite or rational numbers on the number line. So in the future lesson, the goal is for students to realize that finding the opposite of any rational number is the same as finding an integer's opposite. Sometimes students get confused when they get into decimals and fractions. And so when they see this connection between positive and negative integers, they can see that it's the same with positive and negative rational numbers. And what I always like to do with my class is I want to give them think time. So when I ask questions, I don't like to pressure them and make them feel like they have to know the answer immediately. And I also want them to encourage movement and wanting them to get out of their seats in a positive way, in a productive way, and using manipulatives, number cubes, the whiteboards, markers, anything where we can make math come alive. And I also want to encourage them to work independently. Special education students need to be able to work these out on their own and have a safe space to make mistakes. And that's what I try to create in my classroom.
Today we are going to start with lesson 4. And we have 3 goals for our lesson today, our 3 objectives. So we're going to understand that each non-zero integer, and a non-zero integer just means a whole number other than 0. So it could be 25, it could be a -9, it could be 12, any number other than 0. That would be a non-integer, or I'm sorry, non-zero integer. So any of those numbers has an opposite. So if it is 21, it has an opposite, okay? Or if it's -10, it has an opposite, okay? We're also going to learn that 2 non-zero integers are opposite if they're on opposite sides of 0. So you have 0 on the number line, and so they are opposite is if one is on one side of 0 and the other is on the other side of 0, okay? And they are the same distance from 0 on the number line. So we're going to go outside in a little bit and look at how numbers are opposite if they are equal distance from 0. They're the same distance. And then last is I can understand that 0 is its own opposite. So 0 does not have an opposite because it is its opposite. And so we will see that on the number line as well. Okay, so for our first activity, we're going to look and determine what is the relationship between these words. So what I want you to do is you're going to talk with your shoulder partner, and I want each of you to take about 30 seconds each to discuss, looking at these words, what relationship do you see with all of these words? So when you look at the first word, fast and slow, light and dark, dirty, clean, up, down, entrance, exit, easy, hard, correct, incorrect, ancient, and modern. What is the relationship between those two words? So I want you to discuss with your shoulder partner starting now.
All these words yeah, but it's the opposite. If you have like a room, if you have like a room
maybe I would say, maybe if we go like in the wrong direction or something, that's called opposite direction. I think if you go.
Okay, if one of you hasn't shared yet, make sure you share.
Yeah, you're right.
So that would totally make sense.
Like the easy math, right? And then if you have like other math that's hard, it goes easy and hard.
If the opposite of like,
All right. Would anybody like to volunteer to share something their partner told them? Okay, Michael?
So I tell Violet that I think if we go in the wrong direction, that's the opposite direction.
Okay.
Oh.
So thumbs up if you agree with Michael. He said these words mean opposites.
Oh, Mr. Ray, I want to say it one more time.
Okay, go ahead, Michael.
And then if you go in the right direction, that's the scientific direction or something.
Okay, exactly. So all of these words are the opposites of each other. Yes, Ruby.
Can it also go fast and slow? Like a car can go fast and a car can also go slow.
Correct. So if a car is going fast, the opposite of a car going fast would be
Slow.
a car going slow. So that is the whole thing today, is we're talking about opposites. Now, once we determine the relationship, I want you to create two words of your own that are opposites. And then one of them needs to be a math opposite. So I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to come up with two words, an opposite. So just like fast and slow. So I want you to think of two opposite words, and then think of another one that has a math opposite. Okay? If I was going to do an example, I would say fast and then slow. See that?
Oh, yeah.
So I would do fast and then slow. Okay? So you're going to think of words that are opposite. That's why I'm giving you think time. I want you to get your brain in the opposite thinking.
Mr. Raley, do I have to put my name or not?
You don't have to put your name.
Oh, okay.
All right, so 3 minutes. I want you to think, and if you need some help, who can you ask?
A partner.
Your shoulder partner. Now that we've had time to think about our answers, would anybody like to share one of their opposite words? Okay, Shelby?
On, off.
On and off. Good job. Okay, Sarah?
High and low.
High and low. Sarah?
Sunlight and moonlight.
Sunlight and moonlight. I like that one. All right, Ruby?
Positive and negative.
Positive and negative. Good. That kind of goes with what. So that's kind of like a math, right? That's a math word.
Oh, I got one.
And it could be just a regular word, right?
I got one, Mr. Raley.
All right, Michael.
So you can go more or less, or a good day or bad day.
Okay. Good day, bad day, more and less. Okay, anybody got some math words? That was math, right?
Oh,
more and
wait.
less. Okay.
Hot and cold.
That's another one. Sarah.
Okay, that's a good one.
Multiply and divide. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to go venture out into the hallway, and we're going to explore walking on a real number line on the floor. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a little card here, and it's going to have an integer on it. And so one at a time, you're going to go on the number line, and you're going to physically walk to your number. And what number do we start at when we start on the number line?
Zero.
Shelby?
0.
0. So you're going to start at 0 and you're going to walk to your number. Okay? And then we're going to see what patterns we see on the number line. We're going to talk about what 0 represents, and then we're going to talk about what is the relationship between any two opposite numbers and 0 on the number line. So we will discuss all of that outside. So we're going to line up and walk outside. Everybody has their integer. So I'm going to model the first one for you. So I have -1. So I'm going to find 0, which is right here. And since I have -1, I know I have to go to the left. So I'm going to take one step. And I made it to -1. Okay? So now, Ruby, come show everybody your number. What did you get? Okay, -3. So let's start at 0. And which direction are you going to go? Well, face me, right? Face me. Now what direction are you going to go? Left. How many steps? All right, so let's walk through. 1, 2, 3. Okay? All right, Violet, what number do you have?
I got 3.
Okay, come stand on 0 here. And face me. All right, what direction are you going?
This one.
Which direction is that?
Right.
How many steps?
3.
All right, let's see. Count out loud.
1, 2, 3.
All right, turn around and face everybody. All right, Alana, what number do you have? 0. Okay, I want you to come stand on 0. Now, how many steps are you going to take? None. So turn around. Right now, we have 3 numbers represented on our number line. We have -3, 0, and +3. Now, do you notice, did we put a plus sign in front of these positive numbers?
Nope.
No. Do we have to put a plus sign in front of the positive? No. The only time we have to put a symbol is if it is negative. When we look at our number line, let's look at our -3 and 3. So I want Ruby and Violet to walk back to 0, and I want you to count as you step, as you walk back, and let's see what happens. So let's go. 1, 2, 3. All right, where did y'all both end up?
At 0.
0. Did y'all take the same number of steps?
Yes.
Yes. Violet took 3 steps to get back to 0, and Ruby took 3 steps to get back to 0. So, what relationship do you think between -3 and 3, Ruby?
Opposites.
Okay, so they are exact opposites. Okay, y'all go back to your numbers. Now, we have Alana on 0. Is there any other number that Alana can match up with? Is there another 0 anywhere? Is there a -0? Is there a +0? No. So, does Alana have an opposite? No. Guess who Alana's opposite is?
0.
Herself. 0. You should try to do these problems on your own. So it says right here, locate and label the opposite of the numbers on the number line. So, let's do A together. So we're going to locate first, and then label the opposite. So let's locate 9. So if I start at 0 and I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that is 9. Now, what would the opposite be? Ruby? Alana, help her out.
It would be -9.
So, I'm going to go all the way to
-9.
and I'm going to label it with my letter A. So now what I want you to do is locate -2 and label the opposite of -2. Locate 4, label the opposite of 4, and then locate -7 and label the opposite of -7. So you see how I did not put an A on 9, I put an A on the opposite of 9, which is -9. So you're going to put the letter on the opposite of the number it gives you. All right, now on your whiteboards, I want you to write the integer for the number that they gave, the opposite they gave. So for B, I want you to write on your integer the opposite of -2. So write the opposite of -2 and hold it up.
It's right up.
Look at that. Coming in the clutch. Okay. Opposite of -2 is
2.
2. So I would put my D right there. All right. For C, show me the opposite of 4. What would the opposite of 4 be?
Oh, I think I sting one.
Okay, and I caught something Carson did, but he changed it. What did you do, Carson, at first? He put the negative side on the wrong side, but he caught himself and switched it. So good job, Carson, catching that. So yes, opposite of 4 is -4, so we can put a C right there. All right, last one. Opposite of -7. Write it on your board. Opposite of -7.
I don't like Oh.
Here, Mike. What's the opposite of -6?
Negative 7.
Okay. Ruby, what did you write? Is that correct? All right, what did you do wrong? What'd you do? You put the what in front of the 7? What was the opposite of -7?
7.
Just 7, right? And so she corrected her mistake. Good job. So, for our last one, the opposite of -7 was what?
7.
Just 7. Good job.
Okay, the students met the objective by answering questions using the whiteboards to show immediate feedback. And also students completed an exit ticket that showed understanding of the concept. Things I would have done differently is I would have had the students write the answers on the whiteboard and then hold them up all at the same time to prevent students copying answers. Also would have been another great movement opportunity is to have the students with the integer cards walk around the room and match up with their opposite. That'd be another way to check for understanding as well. After the video, I posed some more questions to kind of recap the lesson and to kind of go over any other misunderstandings the students had. The students also completed an exit ticket to check for understanding. After completing that assignment, overall, the students showed an understanding of the concept of finding opposite numbers and understanding that 0 is its own opposite. And math is all about building confidence and connections. And so the more the students feel comfortable with math concepts, the easier it is for them to see those connections to other math skills. This is crucial for future lessons, especially when we introduce rational numbers on the number line. What we can do is refer back to this lesson and how the same idea that finding an opposite of a rational number is the same as finding an integer's opposite. So overall, I was pleased with the lesson, and it seemed like the students were understanding it and enjoyed the lesson, and it will help when we connect to future lessons.